important question. It's a matter of artificial intelligence and human agency. I'm not a subject matter specialist on that, and I do agree there's a whole set of questions there. I do want to quickly go into this innovation trying to find its way. In that environment, usually standards do not pop up because people want to grab their slice of the market. They hope that they outgrow the other party so that they can become the de facto standard. Standards work well when there is a common problem that needs to be solved by a set of organizations and companies. And it doesn't really matter what type of standards organization you have, whether it's ISO or whether it's open standards processes or what have you. Just for the record, the Internet Society itself is not a standards producing organization. We are the organizational home for the ITF, which is a standards producing organization. And people go to the ITF to produce standards, not only the ISO framework, they don't produce ISO content, but again, it's interoperable specifications and the internet runs on it. But I think that basically saying it's easy to create standards, that happens, and specifically in the context of international standards organizations or even national standards organizations, there are underlying mandates to enforce the standards being used. And I think that was what you're saying. It's an easy solution once you mandate the standard to be used. And going back...
Standards can be voluntary, right? But just like your little organic sticker, there's going to be a lot of people who are only going to buy it if it follows the standard.
Yep.
So, and standards are slow, and there are going to be people that are going to act faster and maybe do things that causes privacy issues while they're acting faster. But still, standards act faster than regulation.
Yeah, no, so standards...
Got engineers developing them instead of politicians.
Yeah, I agree. And standards are a form of self-regulation in the end. Mm-hmm. So I think that self-regulation is actually a strong piece of the answer here, because if you do the self-regulation, you actually come up with better answers. On the other hand, I do think that in this space, it might be that at some point the social boundary conditions are actually set by regulations, like the GDPR is an example of that. And that is highly cultural dependent. That will play out differently in the US than it plays out in Europe, and different than in Asia.
I think you have a problem with medical devices that's part of IoT, so you almost have two different.
But
HIPAA takes care of that. That's federal regulation.
There are holes in HIPAA as well.
But
There are holes in organic standards.
the thing is, I think that it would be a mistake to treat IoT as a one thing. It is not one thing.
It's not one thing. Standards are complicated.
Yeah.
But if you leave it to the politicians, you get worse standards. There's a lot of history in European legislation of the legislation enacting what gets decided by the standards organization.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think you need to take the lead.
Yep. No.
So I think we have to end the event actually. We've reached 8:30, which is really upsetting because it looks like there's a lot more questions and the discussion will keep on going.
We
but,
can, yeah.
I don't want to, upset our host here at Microsoft. So with that, let's give it up for Olaf. Thank you all for coming, and I think we can hang out for a little bit outside and maybe keep the discussion going, but I do think we need to wrap up soon. So thank you all so much.
Thank you.